good friend, Paul Mark. I'm a little annoyed, actually. You're going to believe that I'm not going to believe I'm saying this, but I'm a little annoyed with the governor right now because I have a plan. Okay? A few years ago when I was first running, and many of you same people were in the room at a rally just before Election Day, I was so honored to have the governor come to that rally. And during that time, during the speaking program, he was speaking just before me, and I was standing there listening to him. And it wasn't the first time I had heard the governor talk. I've heard him many, many times. And I thought to myself, self, don't ever, ever speak after the governor. So we had a plan. I submitted the plan to the staff. I said, this is the plan. I will speak and I will introduce the governor. It was all set. And just before Paul came to the microphone, the governor changed the plan. I guess you have to be nimble in this business, right? But anyway, Governor, I so appreciate you being here. As Paul said before me, you really have kept your promise to be governor of the whole state. That was one of the first things I heard you say more than 8 years ago, 9 years ago, when we first got to know each other, and you have kept that promise. And you have stood with us when we feel that pressure from Boston, where it seems like all the investment is going into 128, and you get it, what's happening outside of 128, and you're investing in the entire state. And we really appreciate that. As far as us, you are one of us. You are one of us. And Governor, you're certainly the most known person in this room. But I have to tell you that there's someone here that is, I would consider, the most treasured person in this room. And that is my dad, Dr. Tom Farley. Dad and Carolyn have been with me from the very first campaign. And they've stuck right by me. And it's not just about, you know, good job, Tricia. It's about really doing the work. He's done the work. And he knows what it takes. And I'll never forget it, Dad. And I'm always working to live up to your name. There's a reason I didn't give up that Farley name. My life partner and soulmate is here, Dan Bouvier, who keeps things working at home on those days when I don't get home till late, keeps things going with the kids and keeps me grounded and pushes me on issues. You know, he's got a few political opinions of his own. You've never noticed that. My two sons are here. Number one son, Enrique, is here, and Joey. My boys. Maggie has brought a whole bunch of her friends here. The gaggle over here. And they're doing something pretty cool tonight. They've all got together tonight and they've registered to vote. All right. I have actually a lot of family here. Matt, Jess, Dan are here. We really appreciate. My family is a big thing. Okay? Not big in number, yes, but it's also a big deal. Let me tell you a little story about Team Farley that came from when we were very young. And I thought actually everybody did this, but I learned it was kind of a unique thing. Setting the table. Setting the table, like everybody has their chores and somebody sets the table. But not in my family. Growing up, Peter put the tablecloth on the table. Meg had the napkins. Somebody else, Meg's here by the way, still put on napkins. We have, somebody else does silverware. Somebody else glasses ice and water. I put on the butter and the pickles and the salt and pepper. I mean, talk about teamwork, right? Just to get the table set, everybody's doing their own job. And that's Team Farley. And Team Farley, I have 9 brothers and sisters with their spouses and their children. At Christmas time, we're a small group of 55. But team means something to me. It's in my bones. And I believe in teamwork. And that's why I'm so proud to be part of the Berkshire delegation. My partner, Paul Mark, my other partners, Smitty Pignatelli, Gail Ann and Ben Downing, they were going to be here today, but they are working, really doing yeoman's work up in North Adams today with Deval, right? And we really thank them. And I believe in Team Pittsfield because it's all of us working together. I work with the mayor, Ben, we meet on a regular basis. We work with the city council and the school committee to make good things happen. A great example of that is the Taconic project. The Taconic project. Okay? It's been a long time coming, but it's going to come because people are working together to make it happen. Common Park project. Boy, by year's end, Governor, it's going to be a sight. We're going to have this done by year's end. This is going to be a hallmark park right in the middle of our downtown, accessible to everybody. Not just people who can drive their kids to the park. This park is going to be accessible to everybody. The beautiful sprinkler park and a pavilion, but that's what we do when we work together. Streetscape is another thing. North Street looks so good right now, doesn't it? The beginning part, but we're going to get that finished because we're working together to make it happen. And I believe in Team Berkshire. When Berkshire County works together, when all of us legislators work together and work with the state, we get things like, just yesterday, there's an announcement that Berkshire Community College got over $300,000 in training grants to be able to work with rapid response and help with the manufacturing companies. And the best example I've seen in a long time, and I'll tell you, nobody else sees this. Nobody, no other community. What we are doing together on that train car bid is really remarkable. Governor Patrick, I hope you are taking notice because it's one Berkshire. It's the Community Development Department under Mayor Bianchi. It's the PETA Board. It's the City Council. Everyone's coming together because we know that we can build those cars better than anybody else. And please, could we please spend some of that T money here in Berkshire County? Because we sure send enough of it to Boston. So those jobs are right here. Since I've taken this new position, I've also learned about other teams. One of the things I've been really enjoying is working with the Progressive Caucus at the State House. In the Progressive Caucus, we worked really hard last year on the transportation financing plan. That worked out just okay, but we worked really hard on that. But we got better at it. And then when it came to welfare reform in November, we really made some great progress. And we were able to put together a good package, and our views were listened to. And that is what working together does. Now we've taken those lessons together, and we have a minimum wage bill that's going to go through the House next week. And it's really through the work of the Progressive Caucus that we are going to have a raised minimum wage in Massachusetts. We are going to have UI reform that does not include cuts to benefits or cuts to eligibility. And we're going to make sure that we take this one tool to address poverty in this Commonwealth because poverty is real, we can't ignore it, and we're going to do it. That I've learned in the last 12 months is you can't just work with people inside the building, but you need to work with people outside the building. And there's a tremendous amount of energy outside the building, of advocates that want to move this Commonwealth in the right direction. And it's through that work with people who care about disabilities, people who care about the cultural economy, people who care about immigration reform. When we all work together, the advocates and the legislature, that's when we can get things done, and that's what we're doing at the State House. And I'm very, very proud to be associated with those teams. That brings us all back here to the Berkshires, because it's right here in the Berkshires that I learn what it's like on the ground level. Perfect example. This morning, There were 280 people at a breakfast with the legislative delegation to talk about disabilities. Ken and Christine Singer, outstanding supporters, led the charge, and they do it every year, every time, to teach us what the issues are, the real issues in the real lives of real people in our own district. What are those issues, and what does that line item in the budget actually mean? It's not just a bunch of numbers. These are lives we're talking about, and they teach us that. And I'm so appreciative of all that we can learn together on that. And then we have the cultural advocates. I mean, it's unbelievable what they do every day in the cultural economy, but then they also teach the delegation what we need to know so that we can support the cultural economy. And when people come together and work as a team, it's mind-blowing what we can accomplish together. I want to be a member of that team. I want to be a member of the team of people that care about the issues that you care about. And that's why I ran for office. And that's why I told you when I started this gig that I promised. I didn't promise you that I wasn't going to raise your taxes. I didn't promise you that you were going to get everything you wanted. But I promised you that I would be accessible to you. And I think that me and my staff, we have accomplished that goal, and I'm very proud of that. Just the office that we have. I didn't find an office in the 4th floor in a remote location. I have an office right near City Hall, right near One Berkshire, downtown England, right there on the 1st floor, handicapped accessible, and accessible to you. Through Facebook, you Facebook message me, you text me, you email me, you call me, and we do our very best to be responsive to you. And I want to be able to keep doing that. I also get a lot of local feedback on important state issues. And I just want to talk about one of those. I've taken kind of a deep dive on one particular issue in the last several months, and that's on the Department of Children and Families. It is a very, very troubled agency. There's a lot of work to do in that agency. But it's because I'm able to talk to my own constituents. I talk to social workers. I talk to supervisors. I talk to parents, the birth parents, the foster parents, the adoptive parents. I talk to the kids themselves at the teenage level and the alumni. I talk to the outside agencies and the advocates. And because of that, I'm able to bring that Western Mass perspective, because I'm the only one west of Milford on the committee, actually, to the table to be able to try to get in there and solve those problems. And we will ask for more money for DCF because, quite frankly, you don't take $100 million out of somebody's budget and think there's not going to be a problem. And so we're going to work to make sure that that funding is secured. Make no mistake, we're also going to hold them all accountable, because there is no room for error when it comes to these kids. And we are going to keep on them and give them the tools that they need. So I want to be part of the team. And I'm going to ask you again. I'm standing for election again this year, and I hope that you support me. Your support tonight is really overwhelming and mind-blowing, truly. I thank you very much for your support tonight. I thank the team that's put this on. Joanne Cater did an outstanding job. Her husband David's here, my cousin Matt's here.